Peaky Blinders is back. Season 7 is official, and this return isn't about reopening the past. It's about finishing what was left unresolved. The final moment we saw wasn't an ending, it was a calculated pause. Tommy Shelby didn't vanish, he withdrew, not from weakness, from awareness. This season opens with a man who already faced death and walked away unchanged. And in this video, we're breaking down exactly what Season 7 is building toward. If you want sharp breakdowns, hit like, subscribe, and stay with the channel, because Peaky Blinders isn't back to remind you who Tommy Shelby was, it's back to show you what he becomes. Season 6 didn't end anything, it disguised the shift. The final scenes weren't calm, they were controlled silence. Tommy Shelby didn't abandon power, he stepped away long enough to understand it. The diagnosis was false, the fear was manufactured, the moment was engineered. That realization didn't bring relief, it removed illusion. For the first time, Tommy saw how close he came to being erased, not by enemies, but by systems he once believed he could manage. From that point forward, survival stopped being the objective. Perspective replaced it. Walking away wasn't surrender, it was insulation. Distance gave him clarity, time gave him leverage. Season 7 opens with a man who no longer reacts to events, he plans beyond them. Every move now begins before the conflict exists. Every outcome is mapped before the first threat appears. This is the turn where instinct gives way to calculation. Tommy Shelby doesn't rush back into chaos, he studies it. Governments destabilize, extremist ideologies gain structure, power consolidates behind closed doors. Tommy recognizes the pattern because he built one himself, and he understands something crucial. Control doesn't come from force, it comes from timing. So he waits, not out of hesitation, out of precision. When he steps back into the world, it isn't to reclaim what he lost, it's to reposition himself where influence actually forms. This season doesn't begin with action, it begins with intent, because once the turn is made, every path forward becomes deliberate, and there is no return to who he was before it. Tommy Shelby no longer plays by anyone's rules. Not the law, not rivals, not tradition. He has outlived fear, outmaneuvered death, outlasted betrayal. Season 7 begins with a Tommy who is untethered. Every choice he makes now is deliberate. Every action is precise. Every consequence calculated. He doesn't react to threats. He anticipates them. He positions himself where others fail to see. The streets of Birmingham are no longer the battleground. The boardrooms of power, the hidden corridors of intelligence, the shadow networks of Europe. That is where he operates now. Allies become tools, enemies become lessons, time itself becomes his weapon. And make no mistake, this is a man who understands the cost of mistakes. Every betrayal left a scar, every loss left a strategy. Tommy moves like a storm contained in a glass, quiet yet unstoppable, calm yet destructive. The world thinks he's broken, they assume restraint, they mistake patience for weakness. They are wrong. Season 7 will reveal a Shelby who no longer fears consequences, because consequences are now his instruments. No one commands the flow of power like he does. No one anticipates outcomes the way he can. No one shapes chaos into opportunity like Tommy Shelby. This isn't the man who survived bullets and betrayal. This is the man who survived the idea of his own end. And that survival doesn't make him stronger, it makes him unstoppable. The scale street wars are over. Small-time schemes no longer matter. Season 7 moves the battlefield to power itself. Governments fracture. Ideologies rise. Fascism creeps into corridors that once seemed untouchable. Tommy doesn't just play the game anymore. He rewrites it. Manipulation replaces muscle. Information becomes lethal. Every handshake, every meeting, every alliance is a weapon in disguise. Allies are temporary. Enemies are predictable. Chaos becomes his canvas. Borders, banks, and bureaucracies. Nothing escapes his influence. A single move can topple empires. A single secret can ignite wars. And Tommy knows which moves will remain invisible until it's too late. The city streets may whisper his name, but the real power plays happen far above them, in palaces, parliaments, and shadow rooms. Season 7 shows a Shelby who no longer reacts. He calculates, he anticipates, he engineers outcomes. This is a war of intellect, timing, and control. Violence is a tool, but not the weapon of choice. The true battlefield is influence, and Tommy is already several moves ahead. And while the world scrambles, Tommy watches. Every fracture, every blind spot, every ambition exposed, he uses it, he bends it, he owns it. This isn't survival anymore. This is dominance. And when the first shots finally fire, no one will know they were fired at all. Season 7 doesn't waste faces for nostalgia. Every reappearance has weight. Some allies come back loyal but cautious. They test Tommy, they question his choices, they remind him what he left behind. Some enemies return broken, desperate, or changed, but their motives are clear: revenge, profit, survival, and Tommy sees it all. Every gesture, every word, every glance is calculated. And And one return, just one, will force him to confront the cost of everything he built. Not in speeches, not in tears, but in moments of precision, betrayal, and confrontation. The family, the gang, the network he's created, none are safe from the gravity of his decisions. Old debts surface, old alliances fracture, old betrayals reopen wounds he thought healed. This season exposes the truth Tommy always knew. Loyalty is temporary, and power comes at a price no one can predict. Every interaction is a test, every choice carries fallout, and for those who think they know him, this season will prove they don't. No handshakes are meaningless, no smiles are sincere, no reunions bring comfort, only tension, only consequence, only the Shelby method. Season 7 isn't just about who returns, it's about what their return forces Tommy to do next. This season isn't about winning, it isn't about survival, it isn't about revenge, it's about control. The kind that doesn't announce itself, the kind that bends systems, shapes people, and shifts nations without leaving a trace. Tommy Shelby doesn't act for glory, he acts for consequence. Every move, every decision, every calculated risk, it's measured, precise, and irreversible. Season 7 asks questions no one dares to ask. What remains after power costs everything? Can influence be undone once it's mastered? And when the world finally trembles, does a man like Tommy Shelby bend it or break it? This isn't about fighting threats, it's about becoming the threat, a shadow that moves ahead of the chaos, predicting it, shaping it, surviving it. Violence alone doesn't define him anymore. Strategy does, timing does, leverage does, and when the world around him crumbles, Tommy doesn't just survive it, he orchestrates it, he uses it, he owns it. Season 7 strips away illusions, exposes the cost of legacy, and proves that for Tommy Shelby, the story never ends. Because influence isn't fleeting, power isn't temporary, and a man who has faced death is no longer constrained by fear. The ending won't roar, it won't explode, it won't hand you closure, it will cut clean, deliberate, permanent. Tommy Shelby doesn't fall into chaos, he decides where it stops, he chooses the outcome, he shapes the story before anyone else even sees it. Every move, every risk, every alliance culminates here. The consequences of past choices converge. No one escapes untouched, no one leaves unchanged. The city, the nation, the shadows of Europe, all feel the weight of his hand. Season 7 doesn't ask if Tommy wins, it asks what a man like him leaves behind, what echoes after the smoke clears, what scars remain in the systems he's reshaped. This is the culmination of every betrayal, every conquest, every calculated decision, every quiet moment of strategy, every manipulation that went unseen. And when the screen finally fades to black, one truth will remain. Tommy Shelby doesn't just survive, he defines the end. If this breakdown gave you value, support the channel. Yes, hit like on to push this video further. Subscribe for more deep dives, theories, and full Peaky Blinders coverage. New episodes mean new consequences, and we'll break down every move. Stay sharp, stay ready, and have a good day.